what I worked 14 years for? So you just fine like this, nothing to offer. So you just beautiful like this, nothing to show. So you just look attractive, no evidence. You look sumptuous, no proof. Is this what I labored for? That is what happens when you try to get freedom without God's backing. Are you aware that Jacob loved a lady called Rachel? Loved Rachel so much. When the Bible began to describe Rachel, her external features, her character, her demeanor, her mien, you can see why Jacob was attracted to her. And the Bible says Jacob was ready for 7 years to labor. 7 years of labor for one woman. 7 years of toiling. 7 years of anguish and pain just to get a wife. And he got the wife. And he got a wrong woman. And the father said, you have to labor 7 years again. He labored 14 years just to get what his heart wanted, to get what he desired, to get the pleasure of his heart. As soon as Rachel came in, 1 year, no child. 2 years, no baby. 3 years, no baby. 4 years. And Jacob began to ask himself, is this what I labored for? Is this what I worked 14 years for? So you just fine like this, nothing to offer. So you just beautiful like this, nothing to show. So you just look attractive, no evidence. You look sumptuous, no proof. Is this what I labored for? Just imagine the pain. Rachel was dealing with multiple pain. The pain of the shame of her womanhood, and the pain of a husband that expected much, yet he saw less. But the Bible says in Genesis 30 verse 22, and the Lord remembered Rachel. Anytime God sees mockery, God shows up in remembrance. Anytime God sees embarrassment, God shows up in remembrance. Anytime God sees shame, God shows up in remembrance. The children of Israel were crying because the taskmasters were after their lives. Do you know that some elders, when they saw the reproach of the children of Israel, they went to Pharaoh? Moses was not the first person to go to Pharaoh. The leaders, the elders in Israel, the Israel extraction living in Egypt, went to Pharaoh to say, we are tired. This burden is too much. Our taskmasters are on us. Pharaoh said, wow, you had time to come here because you had no work to do. I will increase your burden and increase your pain. That is what happens when you try to get freedom without God's backing. Anytime you try to get freedom without the backing of God, you multiply affliction. Anytime you try to get freedom without the instruction of God, you multiply pain. Anytime you try to get freedom without divine assignment, without divine unction, you multiply calamity. They went without being sent by God, and when they went, they said to them, oh really, you had time to come, you are not working. They increased their labor, increased their burden, increased their pain, until God heard from heaven. He saw what they were going through. And in Exodus chapter 2 verse 24, we discover that God remembered his covenant. Stretch your hand to me as you hear the